we go. Thanks for hopping on to see me today. So when we first had the idea of this hop, I was like, our favorites, how am I supposed to choose what are my favorite supplies? That's just such a hard decision. So while I decide what my favorite supplies are, why don't we go ahead and take a peek at our fabulous sponsors. All of the links for everybody will be down in the description box below. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment on everybody's hop video so you could win something from these amazing sponsors. So as this video hop was art journal related, I thought the best place to start would be the art journal. So this is just one that I've made for myself. I've recently been loving working in handmade journals. It kind of takes the pressure off when you don't feel that it's such an expensive, precious thing. And I love the Coptic stitch. Because it lays flat. I can totally fold my book over. It lays flat no matter what page I'm on, and that I really, really love. I also distress these edges. Oh, isn't that so pretty? They're kind of a faux deckled. I just took a distress tool and roughed up the edges, but I love it so much. So yes, this is the journal I'm going to be working in today, and let's get this page going. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to start off with these Derwent XL graphite blocks. I love the colors in this set. I also have the charcoal set as well, and they have beautiful colors. We're just going to take some clear gesso and we are going to affix the graphite to the page using a paintbrush. I'm just going to grab a paper towel there so I don't mess up that one page that's done. And we're just going to wipe it all over and then dry it really good. I love creating texture on my pages, so I thought it would be fun to take some old pattern paper and glue it down to add some texture. You could also use regular tissue paper or anything. We're just going to put it on and then kind of squish it together to create some random, haphazard, extra texture pieces. To give even more texture, we're going to take some light molding paste and we're going to brayer that on all over the page. This is going to add a little bit more texture. It's not going to be super noticeable, but you're going to be able to run your fingers over the page and just feel that scrumptious texture. My next favorite is chalk paints. I love chalk paints, and we are going to get crazy with some chalk paints today. These are actually just the Waverly brand. I think Walmart carries them. They're super cheap. I do love the Paper Artsy. They're my absolute favorite, but they're not as easy to come by, and I wanted you guys to be able to, grab supplies that are easily accessible to you. So we're just brayering a couple of these colors over the page, and I know it looks like, what is she doing? She's just covering paint over paint over paint, but I promise you there is a method to the madness. Now while I was brayering, some of these pages did not glue down right, and I thought I'm just going to rip them over and then re-glue them down. It's going to give us extra texture and bring back some of that beautiful bright graphite blue from down below. Now we're going to take a nice wet, juicy brush and brush over that last layer of chalk paint, and using a paper towel, just pull up some of the color and then dry it really good. I have this pretty hazelnut chalk paint, and I thought I wanted to bring back some of that brown that was in the pattern paper, and I am just using, you guys are going to gasp, but I'm not using a makeup sponge. I'm actually using a cotton pad. I really, really like the way the cotton pad puts down paint. It is very textured style, and also sometimes you get some of those little cotton pieces that come off into your paint and add even more texture. So I just love the way that that is, and that's what I'm using. And now I have a baby wipe, and I'm just wiping back some of those hard edges and giving it a little bit more of a dreamy quality. Once that's good and dry, we're going to go ahead and set it off to the side and work on the focal. For today I have this gorgeous swallowtail butterfly from Stampin' Up! and the Stamp Perfect. This baby has been used and abused, but I love it. So we're going to center our butterfly there, and oh, if it doesn't stick, just add a little bit of baby wipe, and boom, there we go. I have a cut piece of hot press watercolor paper, and we're going to use the VersaFine Jet Black ink, and we're just going to ink it up here. I love this juicy pad because we are going to emboss, but oh, before that, we need to add some powder on there so that way we don't get embossing powder everywhere where we don't want it. I'm going to restamp it here, and this is the beauty of the Stamp Perfect. You can stamp it, but sometimes on textured paper you don't get the best stamped image, and with the Stamp Perfect you can just go ahead, restamp it again over and over again until you've got it as dark as you want it. So we're just going to do that one more time here. Just kind of bring those dark blacks up, press it down real good, and there we go. Now, like I said, we are going to emboss, so I have, oh, let's move that out of the way. I have some clear embossing powder here. I've just got a little mini spoon. This is back from my card making days, but it makes it so easy to use, and then you just dump it right back into your little pan there. We'll close that up and then grab our heat tool. And now I'm going to go ahead and heat the back of it while my heat tool heats up to temperature, and then we'll go ahead and heat the front to get that beautiful glossy embossed look. I'm going to go ahead and zoom down here because seriously, this is magic. I love this. This is one of my favorite moments of embossing, is just watching that gloss come to life. Ta-da! It's so shimmer-tastic. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut that out, but I'm not going to make you watch that. So there we are, all cut out, and look how pretty it is on the page. But I want to add some more. It's all about those layers. I have this beautiful script stamp, and I'm just using some black ink. And everything that I use today will be down in the description box below, so if you missed something or you were wondering, that's where you can find it. Now I have this crackle stencil, and actually this is funny. I'm going to put crackle through the crackle stencil, so that's great. But I love, love crackle, another one of my favorites, and if I can use it on a spread, I will. And now I'm just going to push it through with a palette knife, and I'm going to keep it kind of thin because I don't want it to take too long to cure up, because we want to get this page finished today, right? So I'm just going to kind of run it along the middle like a little river of crackle along the spread. And voila! There we have it. So let's set that off to the side and work on some more layers. This is 100% cotton gauze. You can pick it up at any store. It feels so luxurious. Oh, I love rubbing it, but we're going to dye it. We're going to give it a little bit of an antique look, and we're going to break out the Lindy's. You knew these babies were going to be on my favorites list. So we're going to go ahead and spray these on. It's going to give it that kind of vintage look with just a tiny hint of sparkle. Now that our crackle is all dry, oh, look at all those teeny tiny little cracks. Aren't they beautiful? And we achieved those because we didn't have it too thick. And it actually dried quite quickly, which was wonderful. Yay! So let's continue layering our spread. Now our gauze is nice and dry, and I'm just going to kind of pull it and stretch it and give us a good little piece to go across the middle of the spread. I'm just going to stretch the gauze out over the middle of the spread. So then our butterfly will have just a perfect little home, and I'm going to use the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher to attach our gauze. That way we don't have to worry with any messy glue across the spread. There we go. Now I'm going to take our butterfly, and I'd like to have it interactive. So I'm going to cut off the little tips here of the wings, and then I've taken a piece of brightly colored underpaper that I had, and I cut out the butterfly just a little bit smaller than the top one, so that way it can hide behind it. My idea is that we're going to trim open the butterfly and have the wings like a door, so it'll open up and reveal the color on the inside. Ah, poor butterfly, we just cut off its wing. So I have these little mini hinges, these paper tabs that I've cut, and we're going to glue one side onto the top of our butterfly. So we'll grab some Oohoo glue stick, another one of my favorites. And we're going to use the shorter side on the top of our butterfly. And then the other hinge will get glued underneath our colored under paper. So you won't see the tab, but that way the little hinge will open up easily for us to reveal the inside. So I'm just kind of showing you here what it'll look like. Of course, that will be glued underneath it. So once you have that wing done, see, we'll go like that and glue that on. And once you have that done, go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. We have both sides of our little butterfly doors glued on. I wanted to add another layer, just kind of felt lost, and I have this beautiful text that I got from an old French book, and it has been coffee dyed, so it gives it that vintagey, lovely look. And now I'm deciding if I want it on top or down below, but of course I like it on top, and it needs a little bit of shimmer, so I have this lovely gold spotted, polka dotted washi tape. I'm not sure where I got that. I think it was probably just Michael's in one of their cheap bins. But I'm going to layer a couple pieces there to add just that hint of gold metallic shimmer. And I love that too. And we'll do the same on this side as well. Now before we glue our butterfly down, I wanted to add a little bit of journaling. One of my new favorite things, but I thought I would include it, is hidden journaling. Just scribbly scribbles. I love taking white, black, and also pencil and just layering words on top of words, especially with this super kind of pops of grungy background. It almost gives it a graffiti look. But here I'm just kind of writing my story, and I encourage you guys to write your story in your journal pages too. We may not always be able to see what it was, but we'll come back to those pages and remember the feelings that we had when we created those pages, and that for me is very powerful. So I've got all of my writing, and now I'm going to go ahead and grab another favorite, my Suquain double-sided tape. This is actually score tape, but I just call it Suquain double-sided tape because on the back it has Suquain written. Easy peasy, that is how I remember it. So we'll go ahead and put that down. Make sure you burnish it really good, and then here's a quick tip. Take a toothpick, and it makes it so much easier to pop that double-sided tape off, and it also saves your manicure a little bit longer. Now I've folded over my butterfly in half so I can line it up exactly with the middle of the page with the bend, so that way we can have it right where it needs to be. I'm going to burnish each of those pages, push it down really good, so I have our butterfly exactly where we want it to be. Ta-da! Now I'm going to take my Small Talk Tim Holtz stickers, which is another one of my favorites. Sometimes this is just like the go-to. It has exactly what you want to say when you need to say it, and you don't need to mess around. Oh, let's just drop these stickers everywhere. But I looked through them and found this sentiment, which I thought was just perfect for not only the hop, but for today's spread. Fall in love with as many things as possible. How perfect is that? So I'm just going to stick these into our little butterfly here. And that way when we open it, it reveals our sentiment. Give it a good press down. And there we have it. A beautiful vintage butterfly with brightly colors inside. Now I have some Atomic 6 charcoal. You know I'm going to add some charcoal or pastels into any page spread that I can, and giving it a grungy outside edge is the perfect way to finish off this page spread. I have a dry paintbrush, and I'm just going to go ahead and push that charcoal into all the little nooks and crannies of the texture that we've created. This will give us a very soft, grungy feel, keep that vintage look, and I just love the way it turned out. And that is going to finish off today's page spread. Thank you guys so much for hopping on over and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed getting vintage grungy with a hint of color on the inside, just like all of us. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and comment so you can enter into the giveaway, and also hop on to see the next person who will be listed down in the description box below. I hope you guys have a fantastic YouTube hoppin' weekend. Until next time, happy creating.